state government, regardless to the difference in political ideologies, because only when there is political stability is the Raya able to enjoy the fruits of continuous development. This, of course, requires some level of political maturity from representatives from both state and federal government. Since the first day, I was appointed as the Minister for Infrastructure, Development and Transportation. I have emphasized my Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Transportation, MIDT, shall plan and build Sarawak and build economic Sarawak needs and not wants. Because the needs of Sarawak are paramount in order to achieve that objective. My ministry and I will work closely with the new Pengangkutan government to ensure that these objectives are attained. Some state development and rakyat well-being shall precede any political interests. And MIDT shall continue to plan and seek for budget as what we have done all these years. Secondly, Lord Speaker, my ministry now wish to congratulate Yang Berhormat Encik Barubian, Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri for N81 Bengkulanan, who is also a member of Parliament for 214 Selangau, and Yang Berhormat Encik Chong Jin Jin, Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri for N12 Kota Sentosa, and who is also member of Parliament for P196 Tampin, for their appointment as Minister of Works and Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, respectively. Lord Speaker, Sarawak sheer size is one point that I do not need to pound on. But because of our size, Sarawak needs infrastructure development desperately. One of Sarawak's assets is land. And without infrastructure development, this asset could never be productive. They will be left undeveloped, uncultivated, idle, and unproductive. Therefore, part of MIT job is to plan for better infrastructure network and build this infrastructure so that Sarawak could prosper. While trying to accomplish this, it is inevitable that Sarawak will have to seek financial assistance from the federal government. With past allocation for infrastructure development by the previous federal government might not have been sufficient, infrastructure development has never been deemed unimportant, as unimportant or negligible as far as the federal government is concerned. Sarawak is, after all, part of Malaysia. Like all Malaysian cousins and friends, Sarawak also deserves to be developed the opportunity to have basic necessities in infrastructure. Nobody has to put it better than Yang Berhormat Encik Barubian in his speech on the 10th November 2017. I quote Tuan Speaker, the amount for Sabah and Sarawak is only 2.4% of the total budget allocation. This is more than anything else. It's a clear indication of how the federal government view us. A convenient fixed deposit vote bank, but inconsequential important when it comes to sharing of the pie. How is a paltry amount going to help us play catch-up with Peninsular Malaysia, which was one of the state aims of Sarawak in agreeing to the formation of Federation of Malaysia in 1963. This is how Malaysia treats its equal partner. All the more reason we must fight for full devolution of power to us, including greater fiscal allocation. Unquote. A lot of the Yang Berhormat for the past few days have made reference to the latest guideline based on the official letter distributed by our newly minted Minister of Finance. Today, I thought it's only correct that the content of the official letter is highlighted in this August House. And members of the press, because it is only singular most important document so far that will determine if the infrastructure development in Sarawak will see the light of the day. The Ministry of Finance, MOF, via its letter dated 29 June 2018, reference, this one I must quote, sir. It's S/K, full stop, KEW stroke PA, stroke MOF, stroke D, stroke 00 JLD, full stop 10 SK, full stop 6, bracket 14, has directed that all projects of more than 10 million, of which letters of award have not been issued, where the progress of the construction is less than 15%, shall be implemented according to the level of priorities. According to the same letter, Tuan Speaker, projects are divided into 3 categories, namely critical, moderately critical, or sederhana critical, and not critical or tidak critical. Based on the same letter, rural infrastructure development is classified as sederhana critical or moderately critical. In other words, sir, the new Malaysia sees development of rural infrastructure as secondary, in the layman term, ada, tak ada, tak apa. As Sarawak has a large hinterland, Sarawak and Sarawakian are the one who would lose out the most, based on the new guideline. It is indeed a slap in our face that our relatives and friends in rural areas may continue to live without access to town, to cities, and cut off from development. Whilst our new Malaysians think that rural infrastructure development is no longer a priority, the overall infrastructure development in general has been classified as tidak critical. Hence, it will not be given priority when it comes to budget. The latest guideline and the directives of the Ministry of Finance seem to show that Sarawak development and Sarawak well-being are just Tuan Speaker, my ministry and I do not understand the present new government is trying to improve infrastructure process and procedure for procurement, which is commendable. My ministry, I do understand, the new government is trying to improve the administrative process and procedures for procurement, which is commendable. But while doing that, the new Malaysia should remember that Malaysia does not consist of Peninsular Malaysia alone, and should take into consideration of Sarawak needs as part of the prescribed equation. Blanket policy of categorizing infrastructure development as not critical may be suitable for Peninsular Malaysia, which is already well developed. The approach should not be forced into Sarawak, which is underdeveloped as far as infrastructure is concerned. One size, Tuan Speaker, doesn't fit all. Infrastructure connectivity and development, coastal road and second trunk road. Tuan Speaker, since the last June sitting, Jabatan Kerja Raya is in the process of finalizing procurement procedures and project work scope for commencement of physical work scheduled for the first quarter of 2019. The main components of the coastal road network are Batang Rabungan Bridge, Batang Igan Bridge, which is supposed to be funded by federal government. B. Batang Lopa Bridge, which was supposed to be jointly funded between the federal and state government on 50 and 50 basis. C. Batang Rajang Bridge included 7 16 kilometers of access road to be state-funded. D. Batang-Seribas Bridge to be state-funded. E. Sungai Krian Bridge also to be state-funded. F. Batang-Palok Bridge also to be state-funded. Moralaza Bridge also state-funded. Bintulu Jepak Bridge and Somna will also state-funded. Upgrading of Pelurong to Semelaju Coastal Road, including connecting road to Bakun Junction, and J. Pavement rehabilitation and upgrading of critical stretches, the whole of the existing coastal road. This also state-funded. There are three sections of the second trunk road. The second trunk road serves to provide an alternative shorter route to the main trunk roads, Penggulungan Highway and the coastal road network. The first section is from Semarahan from Kota Semarahan to Roban, which is approximately 112 kilometers of single carriageway JKR R5 two-lane highway. The second section links Buyao to Sriaman and Betong, which is approximately 94 kilometers of single carriageway JKR R5 two-lane highway. The last section includes the upgrading of the existing Jalan Telupu and Jalan Tanjung Genting to Lanang Bridge, Sibu to two-lane to four-lane JKR R5 highway. The state government is committed to construct both the coastal road and the second trunk road. Although building infrastructure might no longer be a priority as far as federal government is concerned, the state government is committed to build this in order to provide the necessary connectivity which will allow Sarawak to grow economically. Based on the decision by the state government, the three bridges, namely Batang Rebungan, Batang Ikan, and Batang Lupa, which originally are dependent on funding from federal government, are still waiting for the fund confirmation by the federal government. However, should the federal funding is not forthcoming, then the state government shall take the responsibility to ensure that these bridges are built. While Peninsular Malaysia can wait for the high-speed rail, the people of Sarawak cannot and do without the basic connectivity, and cannot wait in perpetuity for this development to take place. The building of the coastal road network and the second trunk road will directly benefit 60% of our population residing in these areas. The procurement process shall be based on tender basis to ensure transparency. In order to nurture local construction companies in Sarawak, local Sarawakian contractors shall be given preference, while other performance-based tender pre-qualification are still being finalized. Jiwa Murni Road, Tuan Speaker. Jiwa Murni roads are constructed purely for connectivity. The reason why Jiwa Murni Road exists is purely based on logic. Logic that rural villages in Sarawak cannot be left disconnected and almost abandoned. While waiting for enough budget allocation to construct roads based on Jabatan Clearance.
Honorable Minister, are you taking a question?
Thank you, Dr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister has mentioned about second trunk road and also coastal road. My clarification to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister is that whether the government is considering to segregate the two mega projects into various parts, so that not only one selected company or consultant will be benefiting out from this project, whether the state government is considering to proportion or segregate it into various portions, so that and make it open tender, so that more Sarawakian company can involve, because there has been an accusation that the ministry has favored one or two companies, huge companies, for them to involve in this project. And I believe with the policy of open tender, that the accusation will not last at the end of the day. So whether there is number one, open tender, and number two, whether there is a segregation in various portions. Thank you.
I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In fact, if we have waited a bit longer, I would have answered that question later. So I will answer that as I approach and respond to the question. All right. Your Moni Road. I will answer your question later. Right? To our Speaker, your Moni roads are constructed purely for connectivity. The reason why your Moni roads exist is purely based on logic. I will repeat this again. Logic that rural villages in Sarawak cannot be left disconnected or almost abandoned while waiting for enough budget allocation to construct roads based on Jabatan Kerja Raya road standard. Because Jua Moni roads are designed and built out of necessity of connectivity. These roads are meant for light use by villages. In no way are these roads meant for heavy trucks and heavy vehicles laden with palm oil and timber. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, this is exactly what had happened. To stop this heavy vehicle from prowling the fragile Jua Moni roads, Jabatan Kerja Raya JKR is presently designing suitable gantries and half covered where it is appropriate. At the same time, I also like to urge Jabatan Pengangkutan Jalan (JPJ) to carry out more enforcement activities, as this appeared to be inadequate. To our Speaker, there are a total of 6 Jua Moni roads with a total length of 197 kilometers in Sarawak. Of the 6, 2 are in need of rehabilitation works due to impact caused by frequent use by heavy laden trucks. These 2 roads are Luping Muklalan Road, which is 66 kilometers in length, and Belaga Menjawa Road, 34 kilometers. My ministry has sought funding under a midterm review, as allocation for the federal government is not forthcoming. I hope that the Minister of Works take notice of this. I hope that Minister of Work Malaysia take notice that the funding is needed, especially the long looping Muklalan Road, which is badly damaged by heavily laden truck, and this is indirectly in his own kwasan. My Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Transportation, MIDT, is also looking at incorporating design based on Jabatan Kerja Raya Road Standard for Low Volume Rural Roads, or LVRR, to cater for light vehicles for all present Jua Moni roads. After all, vehicles do need to travel the road to supply goods and construction material to this population residing along these roads. The appointment Yang Berhormat Encik Barubian as a Minister for Work is indeed good news for all of us, as who else know better the plight and the injustice done to Sarawakian communities other than the rural boy himself. I also remember the statement he made on 10th November 2017. I quote, "The rights and safety of rural Sarawakian are equally as important as that of those of city dwellers," unquote. With sheer determination and conviction, my ministry believes that Yang Berhormat Encik Barubian will fight against all odds, storm for equal rights of Sarawakian, of rural Sarawakian and get all the budget required for the upgrading and rehabilitation of the 6 Geomoni Road of Sarawak, despite the policy of rural infrastructure development, has been deemed as sederhana critical by the Ministry of Finance. Baram River Infrastructure Planning. Tuan Speaker, Sarawak currently does not have a comprehensive road networks, and much of the hinterland is still not easily accessible by road. With the correct infrastructure in place, rich resources could be tapped, value added, and transported efficiently to buyers not just in Sarawak but nationwide. A tourism potential of these areas could be harnessed as a result of connectivity. Since the last sitting, the government had carried out a plan to develop a link road in the rural areas. The government is keen to start this access road to the east from Long Lama passing to Long Bidian, Long Terawan, and to Mulu National Park. This project shall put up in the 12th Malaysia Plan for consideration. My ministry also planned to set up a road passing through Tinja to the west, through Usunapao, and ultimately linking the whole road network towards Belaga district. At the present moment, Tinja linking to Usunapao is currently still in the early proposed stage. Land transport, traffic management. One Speaker, last year the state government has initiated smart mobility initiative to address Kuching traffic woes. The smart mobility component include integrated intelligent traffic light system or IITLS and WAZE. WAZE is W-A-Z-E, Connected Citizen Program. The conventional signal fixed timing model is less efficient when it comes to managing traffic in critical traffic congestion intersection. The IITLS uses input from sensors to carry out real-time calculation, which prompt the system and automatically retime the duration of traffic light signal in accordance to the traffic value in each direction. The pilot project IITLS does send across mentioned 5 agencies, regardless of areas of jurisdiction, namely Dewan Bandaraya Kuching Utara DBKU, Majlis Bandaraya Kuching Selatan MBKS, Majlis Perdandaran Pedawan MPP, Majlis Pendendaran Kota Semarahan MPKS, and Jabatan Kerja Raya in Sarawak. The routes are Green Road, Jalan Tun Razak, Jalan 1 Kuching Central, Jalan Semarahan, dan Jalan Song. For the information Yang Berhormat, this year installation of sensors and control upgrading works have been carried out. Green Road and Jalan Tun Razak pilot road routes are still under preliminary traffic light but timing synchronization, which shall be carried out until the end of the year. The data collection on traffic value and throughout junction along these pilot routes will be compiled and utilized by respective agencies in formulating an effective strategy on road traffic management. Lord Speaker, can I have some water sometime?
Sure, you ask that.
My throat doesn't last very long without water. Thank you very much. Lord Speaker, as of March 2018, the state government is now collaborating with WAZE through Connected Citizen Program. The collaboration is royalty-free and provide driver using WAZE smart navigation application with anonymous real-time traffic and incident report. Publicly available traffic and congestion information promotes greater efficiency and shield and safer road navigation for our motorists. In exchange, Jabatan Kerja Raya provides real. Oh, thank you very much. The Minister in charge of Women's Affairs and Men's Affairs this time. In exchange to a speaker, Jabatan Kerja Raya provides real-time government efforts such as construction, flood, and road closure data. JKR will also be able to provide road users with advanced notices of Thank you. Let me repeat. JKR will also be able to provide road users with advanced notice of major traffic events such as parades and road closures. They will affect their daily driving routes. The Smart Mobility Project is executed throughout the year in 2021. Stage Bus Service Transformation, SBST. Tuan Speaker, Sarawak Government is committed to meet the objective of the Stage Bus Service Transformation, SBST itself, i.e. to reduce traffic congestion, improve the reliability and efficiency of existing bus services. The federal government is currently embarking on implementation of SBST, and Kuching has been selected as one of the 5 cities under this program. The contract agreement was signed on 22nd November 2017 between Malaysian government, represented by the Prime Minister Department, and Consortium Bus Bandaraya Kuching, KBBK, Sdn Bhd, an amalgamation of companies registered in the state of Sarawak. For the information yang berhormat, companies involved in Consortium Bus Bandaraya Kuching or KBBK Sdn Bhd are 1. City Public Link Bus Service Sdn Bhd, 2. Sarawak Transport Company Berhad, 3. Baut Transport Company Sdn Bhd, 4. Putrajaya Transport Sarawak Sdn Bhd, and 5th Beramas Express Sdn Bhd. Consortium Bus Bandaraya Kuching KBBK Sdn Bhd is expected to carry out an implementation and implement a program as required within 5 years from the date of contractual agreement. Tuan Speaker, the original plan is to use 130 diesel bus covering a total distance of 560 km, a total of 27 routes, 15 core routes, and 27 intermediate routes. However, in February 2018, the state government has come up with a recommendation for federal government considering having 100% electric bus instead. As I mentioned in my earlier speech, the new PH government is presently reviewing and reassessing all applicable procurement contracts as per MOF circular dated 29 June 2018. Because of that, it is still waiting for the decision from the relevant federal authority with regard to the status of SBST. Should green light be given within the next 2 months, the SBST project should take off by the 4th quarter of this year, that is 2018. Road safety, Tuan Speaker, as Sarawak road network continues to expand and improve, road safety remains a major concern in Sarawak. In spite of significant improvements in road engineering and vehicle service features, the current number of deaths and injuries has remained unacceptably high. An average of 50 traffic accidents occurred daily in 2017, where a total of 432 lives perished, resulting in estimated loss of RM 561 RM 561 million losses to Sarawak. From January to June this year, a total of 165 fatal road accidents has occurred. Compared to the same period in 2017, the number of fatal road accidents, although had decreased to 25 cases, which is equivalent to 13% reduction, are simply not good enough as lives are involved. Human factor remains the major factor in road safety because 80% of traffic accidents are caused by reckless driving. It is important to implement measures. Measures are directed at specific target group road users intended to change their behavior. In this aspect, the Road Safety Council is continuously conducting safety campaigns. Apart from road engineering and enforcement measurement, education plays an important role in shaping the attitude of the young generation. So they could be responsible riders, responsible drivers, and passengers and pedestrians as well. The new road safety module, Pendidikan Keselamatan Jalan Raya, PKJR, inserted into the Malaysian Bahasa Melayu subject will be introduced in all primary school by the year 2019. The module, which includes graphics, highway code, and safety guidelines, among others, will be taught for 2 periods a week by trained road safety teachers to 1,264 primary schools throughout Sarawak. Tuan Speaker, apart from road safety education, Jabatan Keselamatan Jalan Raya JKJR also conducted jointly advocacy program with Social Security Organization SOCSO on safety committing to workplace, community road safety awareness program with Lebuh Raya Utara LBU in high traffic areas, safe road program for youth in rural areas such as Kapit, Lawas, Baram, and Long Lama. In the efforts to harmonize standards of our roads, the International Road Assessment Program (IRAP) metrics are being adopted as measure to maximize the reduction of traffic crash trauma. Road safety curriculum for lower secondary school students is currently being developed, focusing on character development and behavioral for those would-be drivers. Studies have been shown that the drivers with better knowledge and understanding in performing their journeys have lower risk in committing an accident. As such, safe driving program is introduced to commodity and manufacturing transporter in Miri and Bintulu. Tuan Speaker, improving road safety in our state is important to influence the outcome of Malaysia Road Safety Plan 2014 to 2020, which aims to stabilize and reduce level of road fatalities to 50% by 2020. The Road Safety Council led by my ministry will continuously support and facilitate initiatives taken by relevant agencies in achieving this objective. In doing so, I would like to have everyone on board, including Ali Yang Bowman and this August House, to take part in our efforts to make our roads safer. Road safety measure implementation at Penggulungan Highway, Sarawak. Tuan Speaker, the project delivery partner known as PDP for Penggulungan Highway, Sarawak, Lebuh Raya, Penggulungan Utara LBU and Bahar, takes road safety seriously while constructing the highway. Since the inception of the project 2015, the project delivery partner has taken various initiatives and measures in compliance with the approved traffic management plan, RTMP. In addition, the project delivery partner has gone further to beef up its traffic management program to ensure road safety is not compromised.
Honorable Minister, are you taking a question?
Thank you, Tuan Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. All we need, Honorable Minister, is go to Cebu. And then from Cebu, you drive to Cebu Airport. Okay, you just go there. You know there was a road diversion because of Penggulungan highway. First road diversion, it was an old road owned by the government. And it's not upkept properly. It's so dangerous, I have made it in the news several times. After we complain, they figure it out just like pastor. For the last 2 days, and then everything happened. I don't think they're taking safety seriously. Honestly, Don't Speaker. I'm talking about the safety of the rakyat. I'm not talking about, for us, members here don't have to take care of big companies. We have to take care of our rakyat, especially like and these kind of things. You can come to Cebu, I give you a ride myself. Is that fair enough? Before you say they are taking it seriously.
To a speaker, I haven't finished what I was supposed to say. If I may continue on what are the alternatives that they are going to do. I haven't finished yet. Let us argue whether this is the correct alternative, the correct procedure. If you give me a chance, I will have continue on this now. But thank you very much. All right. The traffic management program to ensure road safety is not compromised. These are the following measures they're going to take. They have been taking and they will continue to take. A, dedicated traffic management unit at project delivery partner on PDP level. Traffic management is contractually the responsibility of the various work package contractors. To ensure safety for road users during the construction, especially on light road, Lebuh Raya, Bono Utara LBU, as a project delivery partner, has set up dedicated traffic management unit at the head office. That's one. This unit, led by manager in charge and further assisted by traffic management officers stationed at each of the 11 work packages. The role of this unit is to work closely with on-site work package contractors at WPC traffic management team to oversee implementation of traffic management program over the stretch of the Teluk Lanau all the way to Miri. B, other traffic management enhancement introduced. Following the setup of traffic management unit, several enhancements have been implemented so far to beef up traffic management at the 11 work packages. These are: 1, standard uniform with reflective colors for traffic controllers and flagmen. 2, additional reflective plate for plastic and concrete barriers. 3, beacon lights and direction alerts on traffic vehicles. 4, new standard operating procedure SOP for critical activities, i.e. working ingress, that is entry, and working egress, that is exit. 4, a fine enforcement by the project delivery partner to ensure all traffic equipment installed at this site is in accordance with the approved traffic management plan. 6, training of traffic personnel. And 7, guidelines and procedures of traffic safety procedures for project delivery partner and main contractors. These are the things that they are doing. If they're not very good, they will try to improve on that.
Are you taking the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Minister.
Thank you to Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. What you say is on purpose. On theories, everything is fine. Go to the ground, it's totally opposite. I'm talking about, let me explain the civil situation. Because of the construction of the Penggulungan highway, the road supposed to be very good, going to Sriwijaya, going to the airport, has been diverted using the old Oya road. Old Oya road has been deserted, not been using for more than 10 years, 20 years maybe. So they're using the road, and because I don't know why a junction of the road and then you had to close the roundabout for 2 years. That's what they're doing. Okay. Now the old road is not maintained by SMC, it's not maintained by GKR. It's supposed to be maintained by the contractor or subcontractors of Penggulungan Highway, but they are not doing their job. And when we call SMC is oh, this is not under our jurisdiction. This is under the contractor obligation. The point is, I know everything on papers it look very fine, but you go to the ground, the road is not maintained. What is the use of safety equipment? All these diversion, whatever, reflective gauge. The road must be properly maintained if someone has to supervise it. Thank you.
To Speaker, thank you very much for the information. Sitting in this D1 is not only us, they are my officers, including LPU. And thank you for the information. I'm sure they bear that in mind. If I may continue to speak.
Yes, please proceed.
Then the last one I mentioned was D, and B, now is C, emergency response team on site. In addition to the above, the project delivery partner, PDP, has also made it a requirement that 11 work packages has an emergency response team, or ERT, at their respective range. This is to ensure that immediate assistance could be rendered during emergency cases such as road accidents. The road safety campaign. Project delivery partner has also organized many road safety campaigns which have been well participated by all work packages. During this road safety campaign, relevant enforcement agencies like Royal Malaysian Police, Road Transport Department, and Road Safety Department have also taken part in the collaborative effort to promote road safety. E. Road campaign during festivals. Road campaign has been embarked by project delivery partner PDP during all major festivals such as Chinese New Year, Gawai Daya, Hari Raya, Idul Fitri, and Christmas, where road safety messages are aired between songs on popular radio channels. That is, on Hits, FM, Era, FM, My FM, to remind road users to drive safely during Balik Kampung Rush. I hope this will give Ali Yang Boman from Palawan some places, some clues to what they have to do. And I will, of course, to one speaker, remind my officer to ensure that what is being said here will be implemented on the ground. River transportation, to one speaker. To date, a total 1,168,444 passengers on board using waterways recorded, and as of 30th April 2018, the board had registered a total of 5,183 vessels of various tonnages. Figures indicate that river transport remains an important part of our transportation network in Sarawak. I'm pleased to announce that this August House that to date there are 0 river casualty cases being reported. The credit is due to the effective action and strict enforcement by Sarawak River Board, SRB. Congratulations to them and for the job well done. In order to improve navigation channel, enhance safety and smooth navigation for vessels in both plying the Sarawak waters, all vessels are required to carry and display river boat transport permit, RTP. In addition, a total of 165 numbers of aids of navigation are atoned or installed within southern region of Kuching, central region of Cebu, northern region of Miri. A total of 20 enforcement boats are now available for river patrol, enforcement activities, site inspection, support logistic, flood operation, and preparatory services. Air transportation, one speaker. Rural air service has been helping rural people to travel to their places easily for years. Travel time has been shortened, and remote places previously inaccessible are now within reach. Nonetheless, of late, a number of issues related to flight delays had been highlighted. Based on the report, technical reason has been the main cause of these delays. As a result, it is suggested that more aircraft should be made available, that there is a need to review maintenance schedule to ensure works are completed on time, with while increase in frequency to certain destinations might be required. Under the midterm review, the 11th Malaysia Plan, the state government has approved the implementation of airfield project at Bukit Sadok, Betong Division, and Sungai Tunok in Kafir Division. Such air connectivity should help provide better access to these remote areas, thus spurring growth of tourism industry. These activities will also stimulate economic growth in these areas and help raising the living standard of rural communities involved. Ports. One speaker. The year 2018 marked an optimistic start for the industry. Some of the port authorities, namely Rajang Port Authority and Miri Port Authority, experienced positive trends with the rise in throughput and volume handled. Compared to the same period in the first 5 years in 2017, this year Rajang Port Authority, RPA, recorded an increase of 9%, handling a total of 535,755 tons of cargo. Mary Port, MPA, also recorded an increase 6% with cargo throughput of 2,141,432 tons. Kuching Port experienced a slight decrease of about 0.3%, with total cargo throughput recorded at 3,681,446 tons. Tanjung Manis Port Authority, TMPA, reported 90% decrease with cargo throughput, recording at 1,338,171 tons, mainly due to decrease in export of timber products to Tanjung Manis anchorage area. The number of ship calls also reported an increase of 116% by Marine Port Authority. The total of 525 out of 679 vessels called the private jetty award operated by Marine Port Authority in Sungai Miri, catering for oil and gas offshore activities and containers handling as an effort in collaboration with private sector in providing alternative interim solution to facilitate the industry needs pending the deepening of port access channel in Pulau Baram. One speaker. The authorities shall continue to focus on their strategic objective, which include, among others, enhancing customers and stakeholders' satisfaction, enhancing port operating efficiency, improving operating profit, and focus on revenue generation. To achieve a sustainable and robust economic growth, State Port will continue to work together with port users to improve the profitability, productivity, and overall efficiency to the logistics supply chain to continue to support economic development of the state. Measures will include provision of supplementary revenue sources and cost-saving strategies in order to keep its operating costs down. I would like to update this August House on the capital dredging work of the Sarawak River that is undertaken by Jabatan Laut Malaysia under the Federal Ministry of Transport and MOT. It will take 2 years to complete from November 2017 to 2019, and the physical work is scheduled to start this month. Upon completion, the dredging navigation channel with 9-meter draft below Chat Datam will facilitate the arrival of bigger cargo and passenger vessels, allowing for the increase in economy of scale in transporting goods. Cruise vessel with more tourists coming in to our state, which will see increased ringgit to be spent and circulated in our local retail market. Border Region Development Plan. Tuan Speaker, good bilateral relationship with Sarawak and West Kalimantan province of Indonesia will benefit both sides of the border in terms of economic security.
Thank you, Tuan Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Chief Minister. Just want to clarify a little bit. 2 years ago, the Honourable Deputy Chief Minister said that in Miri, the state government has invited private sectors to carry out the deepening of Miri Port. Can the Minister please update on that, or whether that offer for private sector still valid, still stands? Thank you.
Tuan Speaker, the PH group way ahead of me. I have yet come to that yet. I will reply to you. If you patient enough, please. I have enough problem with my voice now. If you keep coming and interrupting me, I have problem with I will not be able to reach where I'm supposed to answer you later. If you don't mind, yang boleh you. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. May I continue, sir?
Sure. Please proceed.
A good bilateral relationship between Sarawak and West Kalimantan province of Indonesia would benefit both sides of the border in terms of economy and security. Because the Bedou is one of the international entry points for Indonesian into the state. The state government has approved the master plan for the Bedou, comprising of new immigration, custom, quarantines, and security ICQS complex, free industrial zone, commercial and residential areas. The said proposal will also revive the Bedou Inland Port while fostering cross-border trade and tourism between Indonesia and Malaysia, and in particular Sarawak. The previous federal government has agreed to provide 100 million for infrastructure development that is ICQ's complex and road, while the state government will fund another 100 million for the purpose of land acquisition and economic activities. The development was planned to be implemented in stages. However, due to the change of federal government in this policy, the proposal is subject to further deliberation by the federal government. Cabinet Committee on Rural Transformation, Tuan Speaker. As emphasized by Yang Amat Berhormat Chief Minister, the state top priority is to develop rural infrastructure and utilities. Despite high implementation costs, rural transformation initiative is crucial in order to bring more development to rural communities. It is the obligation of the state government to provide basic infrastructure to all Sarawakians, regardless of their race, religion, and region. Rural tunanga bunau ulu uya 11 kilometers at an estimated cost of 66 million. And 3, Jalan Rumah Hubung to Nanga Dijehtamin 8 kilometers at an estimated cost of 45 million ringgit. I wish to inform Aliang Bomat for Palawan, Langusan, Keli, Balingian, Semalaju, Daro, and Murum. The following road project was submitted under the state midterm review but were not approved. Nevertheless, I'll mention it here. 1. Upgrading of Jalan Lepok up to CT Junction. It is 3.8 kilometers at an estimated cost of 47 million. 2. Jalan Sibu Outer Ring Road, 30 kilometers, an estimated cost of 300 million. Jalan Lapok, Ulu Tinya, 80 kilometers at an estimated cost of 250 million. Jalan Stuga, Stroke Basi, Stroke Ijo, Stroke Brayun, Sri Aman, 12 kilometers at an estimated cost of 47 million. Jalan Kampung Medong, Lebraso, Klit, and Jalan Kampung Klit, Narub, Nangambau, Dalat submitted under Jalan Stapang Tamin Dalat, 24 kilometers at an estimated cost of 114 million. Upgrading of Jalan Uluswai, 48 kilometers at an estimated cost of 150 million. Number 7, Jalan Kampung Penaso, Nangasemah, Daro, 12 kilometers, including Jalan Kampung Penaso, Nangasemah, Semop, RGC Sibu, Tanjung Manis, 49 kilometers, an estimated cost of 287 million. And new alternative road to Lusong Laku, 10 kilometers, estimated cost of 70 million. My ministry will pursue all the said projects, like 8 of them, with a total estimated cost of 1.4 billion under the State Work Malaysia Plan for their consideration. Tuan Speaker, Aliang Bomat Palawan has been quite persistent in his request for the Cebu outing road of 300 million. I will pursue this with Yang Bohamat, Minister of Work Malaysia, in as soon as possible time. For the information of Yang Bohamat for Jumoring and Daro, the proposed Jalan Sungai Milas, which is 13.5 kilometers at an estimated cost of 69 million. Jalan Pantai Kau Igan, 2.3 kilometers, an estimated cost of 4.5 million. TT Concrete Kampung Tian, 2.8 kilometers, an estimated cost of 6.2 million. And the proposed Jalan Sungai Pasir Matu, 16 kilometers, an estimated cost of 65 million, have been approved under the state midterm review. The design of this road will commence in 2019. For the information of Liang Bomat Tupong, the upgrading of Jalan Matang from Jalan Matang Jaya to Jalan Matang Batu Kawah Junction to a dual carriageway has been approved under the midterm review with the increased ceiling of 20 million to 60 million. The physical work is expected to commence in early 2019. For the information of Yang Bomat Bukit Uram, the proposed Jalan Kapit Hospital, Jalan Exit at Kapit Hospital is expected to be tendered out by the end of this month. As for the proposed construction of Sungai Menuan, 9 kilometers, and Jalan Sungai Ibau, 10 kilometers, Kapit, which are both under design stage, construction is expected to commence in 2019. The state-funded proposed construction of Sungai Kapit Bridge is currently under technical and cost evaluation stage. The construction is expected to commence in the fourth quarter of 2018. request for new road. One speaker, in response to the above various road requests, I would like to highlight the road project request by Aliang Bomat, namely, this I have to mention so that you know that your request has been taken into account, and we will consider them in due time when the funds are available. In this way, I need the help of the Minister of Works, Malaysia, to assist me on this. Aliang Bomat Batu Danau, the improvement and upgrading of the following roads. Jalan Bukit Sagan stop SK Ululubai from Nangamrit to SK Ululubai. Jalan Kampung Pulau Brunei, Jalan Long Serangan, Jalan Bawang Ubo stroke Induk Sangkar, Jalan Kampung Rantau Kiran, Jalan Kampung Bambang stroke Berakong to Jalan Utama, Jalan John Nonong, Kampung Kelati, Jalan Rumah Pita Ipok, Kampung Sepange, and Jalan Agan Siran, Ulu Tubai. Aliang Bomat Potelian on Jalan Rumah Impi, Nangasikat to Rumah Megong, Nangataro Muka. Yang Bomat for Pelawan, with asking for it. Yang Bomat for Pelawan on upgrading of Jalan Ulu Sungai Merah to a dual carriageway. We have taken that into account. That is your request. Aliang Bomat for Kelaka on the construction of Jalan Seratok, Kampung Kaba. Aliang Bomat for Serembu on the construction of overtaking land along the Jalan Kuching to Bau. Aliang Bomat for Bukit Turunan on the construction of Jalan Kampung Inciap, Panto, Kampung Semulang Ile, and Langge Lingga. And Aliang Bomat for Krian on the resurfacing of Jalan Kabo, Sungai Bangkong. Aliang Bomat for Tamin on the upgrading and construction of the following roads. Upgrading of Jalan Nangatajam to Nangadijah Tamin. Upgrading of Jalan Sapudun, Balengian Sibu. Jalan Rumah Pengarah to Rumah Imong Ulumuka. And Jalan SK Nangas Langau to Rumah Tinggai Ulumuka. Aliang Bomat for Daro on the construction of Jalan Bawang, Asan, Tanjung Manis, Sungai Ilas, Kampung Sebenar, Beradong. Aliang Bomat for Meluan on the construction of Jalan Kubu Brook, Nanga Meluan, SK Nanga Maung, and SK Nanga Ju. Aliang Bomat for Murum on the following roads. The new alternative road to Sungai to SK Kuala Kebulu. Upgrading of exclusion road to Lusong Laku Murum, upgrading of X road to Long Urun Murum, upgrading of Jalan Rumah Madang, Rumah Wan Musim, dan Rumah Besar di Rumah Ramli Tubau, upgrading of Jalan Rumah Ting, Taman Stroke, Rumah Ugat Tubau, upgrading of Jalan Long Bala, upgrading of Jalan Long Koyan, and upgrading of Jalan Joseph in Rumah Beranding, Ulu Jelalong. Aliang Bomat and Kiri on the construction of permanent concrete bridges to replace temporary bridges along Jalan Ulu Skran. And finally, Aliang Bomat Krian on the ceiling of Jalan Senyawan, Stroke, Lubuk Renin. And Aliang Bomat for Plagus on the following roads. Jalan Nanga Mujung passing through Rumah Belajar Nanga Benin and connecting it to building of iconic bridge over Plagus Rapid to rehabilitate and restore back the Plagus Resort and Plagus Rapid itself. Upgrading of Exploratory Road ke Rumah Juga, Rumah Plikau, Rumah Sangau, and Rumah Jona and Junia Ngat in Ulu Sungai Sud. Construction of bridge at Rumah Taing, Benar Sungai Sud. Construction of bridge at Sungai Undi, Sungai Benar Sud. Construction of road Rumah Ai, Ulu Benar. and construction of rumah tang, nangatap rumah sabang, nangabuya Bataraja. Liang Bomat Polaya on the construction and upgrading of Jalan Linsun, Stroke Mara, Stroke Krapa, Stroke Spark, and Jalan Ajong Merunjau, Nang Lawe, Batu Lintang, and Aliang Bomat Bukit Guram on the upgrading of Jalan Melepis, Ulu Melepis. My ministry recognized the importance of all these road requests in Jalan Kerja Raya was studied them and taking into consideration of all their benefits and financial implications to the state government before implementation. Second trunk road and coastal road and villages. Tuan Speaker, I wish to inform Aliang Muhammad Penggulungan the proposed second trunk road and various bridges under the coastal road program has been approved by the state government in principle. The letter of intent LOI for the project had been issued to two proponents on the design, building, build, and pay after completion methodology. This methodology is private funding initiative of PFI, whereby the project proponents are required to design, finance, and the whole construction cost, and complete the project before getting any payments from the government. Letter of intent are not contractually binding document, and thus government is not committed to award the project to its proponents. The reason why LOI was issued was so that proponents would embark on the proposal, having a basis to discuss with the commercial financier to appropriate funding and so on. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, the state government is also looking at the implementation method, which may include, I repeat, at the same time, Mr. Speaker, the state government is looking for other implementation methods, which may include pre-qualification tendering. Under this, only companies having satisfied the required criteria in terms of technical capability, financial stability, and management capacity will be considered. The government has also conducted a value management lab on both project and GKCU, and so I repeat again, the government has also conducted value management lab on both projects, and GKCU operates SOR for use as yardstick to project the cost. Coastal road. For the information of Liang Boma to Tanjung Dato, Sadong Jaya and Jomoring, the preliminary engineering design for the proposed construction of Batang Rombongan Bridge is completed and thereby and ready for value assessment lab to come out with final detailed design. The proposed Igan Bridge has been tendered. The implementation of the proposed Batang Bridge is still under preliminary design. However, please note that these bridges are classified as moderate critical project and will be referred to the planning unit for further deliberation, and we are waiting for their instructions. For the information about Liang Bomat Putaro, Kelaka, and Seribat.
Thank you, Dr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. On the coastal road and second trunk road, is the state government committed, since as stated by Deputy Chief Minister, that LOI is not legally binding. It's not a legal binding document. Now, whether the state government is committed to make the two mega projects in open tender as per instructed by the Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Finance, that all the mega projects should be done by open tender. And number two, whether it will be done in terms of segregation in portions. As we all know, there are many competent Sarawak companies in our state, and building of roads does not require specialties and special expertise. Does not require special expertise in which that some of the special knowledge that are required on the consultant or contractors. Many road builders are competent in Sarawak, but why state government is favor one or two contractors when it comes to this mega project and to that extent? These are my two questions. Whether the state government are committed to do that.
Thank you, Tuan Speaker. I did mention that there are two ways. One is, the first one that I said was LOI was given to two opponents. But there's another one that if you listen to me, I will repeat it just in case you miss it out. At the same time, Tuan Speaker, the state government is looking for other implementation methods, which may include pre-qualified tendering. Under this, only companies that can satisfy the required criteria in terms of technical capability, financial stability, and management budget will be considered. I did mention before that local companies will be considered, will be considered more on this issue.
I think the minister have answered your query. He's saying that it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think minister, now, member for Penggulungan, I think the minister has responded. He has responded to your question.
Yeah, I need to repeat just to see the member Pelawat.
Okay.
Yeah, Penggulungan.
No, he has responded. Penggulungan.
No, I'm repeating the answer so that you hear better. Okay, Coastal Road.
Ada
The information bagi yang Bomat Pertanian Dato' Pelawat. I've answered that. Please, I've answered that question. If you listen carefully, you would have understood it.
Penggulungan. Order, please.
I did not evade your question. I answered your question.
Can I say?
To listen.
No, Penggulungan. No. Now the minister has said they are considering other alternatives. He has answered the question. Penggulungan.
I've said it will be other methods will be considered. Can't you understand in English?
Okay. Now, just proceed on, minister.
Okay. I'll start Coastal Road stuff. Sorry.
Okay. Can you proceed with your
I suggest you sit down.
speech?
Tuan Speaker, for the information Aliyah Bobat.
Order. Can you have some order, Penggulungan?
Sadong Jaya and Jumori.
Can you have some order?
The preliminary engineering design.
No, he don't have to satisfy you. He has responded to your question. You don't expect him to. You don't expect him to answer the question you want. The minister has answered. If he doesn't answer according to what you want, you cannot force an answer out of him according to what you want. Okay?
That is the answer that I have. If you can understand it, it's hard luck. I'm sorry that you couldn't understand what I said. It's not my fault. It's your fault that you don't have the brain to do it.
Minister Penggulungan, can you let the minister proceed?
Yeah, can I proceed? Let me proceed.
Okay.
I've answered it. Why it's so difficult for you to understand? That I can. I said tender.
Okay. Now Minister can proceed.
Okay, right.
He has replied, but you cannot force him to give the answer you want.
I cannot.
He has responded.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
proceed, Minister.
Thank you. Okay.
No. I think it's answered. Can you please sit down, Penggulungan?
Okay.
No. Penggulungan, I think you cannot force the minister to give the answer that you want. He has responded. Okay? Can you please proceed? Can you sit down, Penggulungan?
I have to answer to Pujut later on. I have to leave tomorrow to come, you know.
Okay, Penggulungan, I think that's enough. Okay?
Okay, for the information, Maria Bobat Pertanyaan Dato, Sadong Jaya Engineering. The preliminary engineering and design for the proposed construction Batang Rambungan Bridge is completed and ready for value assessment lab to come out with final detailed design.
Okay.
The proposed Igan Bridge has been tendered.
Can you please allow the minister to proceed with the speech? There must be decorum in the house, please.
The implementation of the proposed Patalupa Bridge is under preliminary design. However, please take note that these bridges are classified as moderately critical project and will be referred to Economic Planning Unit EPU for the further deliberation, and we are waiting for the instruction. For the information, Maliang Pomat Pedaro, Kelaka, and Saribas, Jabatan Kerja Raya is finalizing the project work scopes and procurement process and preparation for the commencement for the physical work on Jabatan Muara Lasa, Jabatan Batang Palo, Jabatan Sungai Krian, and Jabatan Batang Saribas, which is scheduled to start first quarter of 2019. The construction of Jabatan Muara Lasa and Jabatan Batang Palo is expected to be completed in 5 years' time. For the information, Maliang Bomat Sadong Jaya and the road standard adopted for coastal road network project is standard. However, should need to upgrade certain critical sections of the road of the KRR5 standard arises. The government may conduct the studies to determine the needs. Kementerian Penggulungan Dua Bandar dan Wilayah KKW Project. One speaker. For the information, Maliang Bomat Kemeluan, Jalan Nangang Tabai, Tantau Limau has achieved physical progress of 84%. And is being closely monitored by Jabatan Kerja Raya to ensure that the contractor complete the work expeditiously. So, for information, Maliang Bomat Utamin, the upgrading of Jalan Sungai Kua and Kampung Pengarah Hulu Muka with a total of 17 kilometers achieved physical progress of 92%. Jabatan Kerja Raya JK is also closely monitoring the delayed project to ensuring completion. The remaining work are road pre-maxing, road line painting, and spot surfacing. The project is expected to be completed by the end of August in 2018. For the information, Maliang Bomat Ukrian, the proposed ceiling of Jalan Lukrian Phase 2, cost RM 16 million, was approved in the federal 11 Malaysia Plan and the Rolling Plan 2, which is currently under tender evaluation, while Jalan Kumpang Bajau 19 million and Sungai Krian Bridge 19 million are also approved under Rolling Plan 2, and both have undergone value management delay. For the information yang Bomat Upar, the proposed Selampit Bridge has been approved in the federal in the Federal 11 Malaysia Plan under the Rolling Plan 2 for the cost of 10 million. However, allocation is insufficient and currently awaiting approval for the budget to be increased to 30 million. The proposed Jalan Biawak, Kampung Pasir, Ile Kampung Kande, Kampung Selampung has been submitted under the Rolling Plan for consideration. For information dari Yang Berhormat Penggeli, the proposed Jalan Lidong Tisak Serian 10.5 km with estimated cost of 63 million was approved under the key resort areas for design and tender documentation is ongoing. The funding of the construction has been submitted under Rolling Plan 4 for consideration. For the information dari Yang Berhormat Meluan Kementerian, the proposed Nangantai and Rumah Sang Rantau Ciri 18 km at an estimated cost of 54 million, upgrading of Jalan Ulu Awek 13.5 km at an estimated cost of 16 million, and improvement and upgrading of Jalan Ulu Paku Nanga Ulu Pakan at 11.8 million at an estimated cost of 300 million has been submitted on Rolling Plan 4 for consideration. For information dari Yang Berhormat Pengurum, I wish to inform you the following updates. Upgrading Wexloving Road, Ulu Jelalong Tubau for 40 km at the estimated cost of 17 million, and upgrading of Jalan Rumah Julahi 200 km has been approved under Rolling Plan 1 for Exloving Road Phase 2. They are both under tender process. The construction of new road, Lord Pertanian and Bakun Resettlement Scheme Sungai Asap Phase 1, 13 km at an estimated cost of 9 million has been approved under Rolling Plan 2 and is currently under preliminary survey. And 3, upgrading of Exloving Road, penempatan semula Tekulang, Murum 9.3 km, 9.3 km at an estimated cost of 0 million, and upgrading of Exloving Road, penempatan semula Betalur, Murum 19 km at a cost of 102 million has been approved under Rolling Plan 3 and are awaiting value management leg. For the information dari Yang Berhormat Pelagus, I wish to inform you the following updates. Jalan Rumah Juntan Nangasut 12 km at the estimated cost of 60 million has been approved under Rolling Plan 2 and is awaiting value management leg. 2. Upgrading Exloving Road at Rumah Skudan Ulu Pelagus 2.6 km at the estimated cost of 2.4 million has been approved under Rolling Plan 1 of Exloving Road Phase 4 is under design. Again, I wish to remind ahli-ahli yang berhormat, although all the mentioned Kementerian Luar Bandar, Kementerian Luar Bandar and Wilayah KKW project were approved previously, all these projects are subject to the instruction and approval from the Economic Planning EPU, pursuant to the official letter from the Ministry of Finance, Malaysia, dated 29 June 2015. For further information, please be informed that this project are rural construction project and is classified under category B, which is moderately critical. Penggulungan Highway. For the information of Yang Berhormat Bukit Semuja, the Penggulungan Highway construction from Serian roundabout to Pantuk Junction is delayed by 7.9%. Is being monitored by Jabatan Kerja Raya, and the project will be partnered to ensure that the contractor is putting all the efforts to complete the work expeditiously. Score Road. For the mission of Yang Berhormat Pelagus, the design for Score Road from Nangamret to Tangan, Tata, which is 81.4 km, at an estimated cost of 950 million, and Jalan access to North from Jalan Balai Hydro Dam 37 km at estimated cost of 690 million had been completed, and for their construction work, for their construction was submitted under rolling plan 3, but was not approved. My ministry, however, will continue to pursue to get the necessary funding for these roads. The other roads, Speaker, for the information yang Bomat was removed out of 21.5 kilometer jalan bawah ujung 4.5 kilometer straight from 7 Mile Junction to Jalan Stephen Yong Junction is currently at the design stage under the state-funded inner ring road. For the remaining 17 kilometer stretch of Simpang Jalan Stephen Yong to Bau, this road will be submitted under state-funded Poor Malaysia plan for their consideration. For the information of the format of PSAO, the implementation coordination unit ICU Malaysia has approved in April 2018 12 million ringgit improvement of the roundabout JK supermarket in Miri. However, the project is subject to review as per official letter from the Ministry of Finance dated 29 June 2018. Construction of the new infrastructure is categorized as not critical. Road maintenance. For the information of the Format of Penggulungan, the state government will ensure that the improvement works continue to be carried out for Penggulungan, Kula Tatau Coastal Road from time to time through annual state road improvement road program under Malaysian Road Record Information System (MARIS) funding. The said road has been handed over to state road concessionaire for routine maintenance. I wish to inform Aliang Bohman Penggulungan, only 18.7% of all the state roads are maintained by CMS Sendirian Bahan. In terms of kilometers, CMS road Sendirian maintained cover only 5,713 kilometers out of the 30,524 kilometers of street road of various categories. The roads are maintained directly by Jabatan Kerja Raya, pihak berkuasa tempatan, and others. Jabatan Kerja Raya Sarawak has reviewed CMS roads and performance under the performance-based contract (SPBC) using performance indicator road maintenance index (RMI). Based on the index, CMS have fulfilled their obligation to maintain and sustain the contracted roads not only in the same but also increasingly better condition is indicated by the index. Performance indicator road maintenance index has been steadily increased from 60.5 in 2003 to 80.8 in 2017 for paved roads and 36.3 in 2003 to 67.9 in 2017 for the unpaved road. Jabatan Kerja Raya Sarawak has carried out supplier audit CMS Road Sendirian Bahan to assess their capability in providing road management and maintenance service under performance-based contract (PBC) to ascertain their strength and term resources, competencies, and to get gaps in their capability and efficiency. The supplier audit concluded that CMS Road has the capacity, the resources, competencies, and strength in many aspects that with the capability shortcoming and efficient gap, and they are capable of providing the service satisfactorily. However, the government has given CMS Road Sendirian Bahan 1 year extension until 13 June 2019 to allow them to further carry out further review. Ferry service. On request of ferry service at Tanjung Sambang for Ali Yang Muhammad, the construction where a ferry runs from, I don't know why. Right. For the ferry operation has been included in the proposed jalan Kampung Sungai Pinang, Yang Api, Beradik, Sinilang, Tanjung Lu, Beliau. Kuching Division, 25 kilometer with an estimate cost of 92 million, which has been submitted to the State 11 Research Plan midterm review, was not approved. And in this event, in this regard, my ministry will put up again and to measure plan for consideration. Rural Transformation RTP. Tuan Speaker, for the information of Maliyang Muhammad Tasik Biru, Ngemah and Laya, the implementation of Rural Transformation Project, the state government has recently approved the creation of 233 professional technical project basis for rural.
Padungan Minister is not giving way, so please sit down.
To bolster the manpower.
Your standing order say unless he gives way, then you ask a question. He's not giving way. Can you please let him finish his speech? Huh?
The division of I think this is very important because this will involve RTP. How can we work and do it correctly? If you listen carefully, you will be in a better mode to understand what we are doing. For the information, Aliyah Muhammad, Tasik Biru, Ngemah and Laya, and implement. I think you better switch office.
Okay, please proceed with your winding up speech, Minister.
The state government has recently.
Padungan, you better sit down.
Creation.
Padungan, the standing order says if the speaker gives way, then you can ask the question. He's not giving way. He wants to proceed with his speech.
I'm not giving way.
Okay?
All right. Basis for contract period of 2 years to bolster the manpower capacity of division office of the Department Kerja Raya Sarawak throughout the state in order to enhance the implementation of high number of projects under Rural Transformation Project RTP and a federal minor rural project program. Empowerment authority is given to divisional engineers in the respective division to manage the rural transformation project of value less than 2 million. Decentralization of design function is also proposed by setting up of dedicated RTP unit design function in each major division, namely Kuching, Cebu, and Miri. This rural transformation project RTP unit will provide the design service to other divisions defined by their regional boundaries and thus could embark on design work in less time-consuming manner. Works with more complex nature, this project valued at more than 2 million each will be handled by the technical branches of the Department Kerja Raya headquarters. RTP unit without design function will also be set up in the rest of the Department Kerja Raya Division Office. This rural transformation project unit will focus on post-contract and project management. This requirement of deployment of professional staff, that is, engineers and supporting staff like assistant engineers at division and even at sub-district level. This will enhance project supervision, quality control, and technical problem resulting on the ground. Specifically, 2 engineers will be assigned to every district in Sarawak. Divisional engineers are answerable to the resident for minor project, rural transformation project, and minor rural project, and service delivery while maintaining functional relationship with Department headquarters. With the decentralization of pre-contract design and tender documentation, function from Department Kerja Raya headquarters to the divisional engineers and the strengthening of the post-contract capacity Department Kerja Raya in the state level. The divisional engineer will be in a better position to deliver the service to the rakyat. This is certainly a win-win situation for both parties. With Division engineers answerable and reporting to the resident of each division. Both parties are now accountable for the project and service delivery in their respective division. To further enhance service delivery, it is proposed that the development warrant be directly issued to the resident office so that this office can effect payment directly to the contractors. The existing system in Jabotundi for projects of less than 750,000 is still maintained. Audit committee comprising relevant officers will be established to constantly monitor and audit the work process and decision to ensure that good corporate governance is complied with. A steering committee for performance monitoring will be maintained at the state level and to chair by Yang Muhammad, the state secretary. All Yang Muhammad, Batu Lintang, your sincere statement that stated, I quote, I am impressed that they, Jabatan Kerja Raya Sarawak, are all hardworking, efficient in delivering the works that are undertaken by them with quality. For that comment, I thank you very much for that kind and sincere compliment. Street lighting, Tuan Speaker, for the information of Yang Muhammad Pasrumu, the state government has approved an allocation of 957,498 for Padawan Municipal Council for the installation of street lighting along all Jalan Bau Ujung in Jalan Haji Bakri Junction and Jalan Bunga Rampai Junction. And the allocation of 530,014 is also provided for the installation of street lighting along Jalan Stephen Yong. On the request by Liang Pomat for Pok, Lingga and Semunjan on the installation of street lights, namely along Jalan Nyelong Bypass Simpang Merudu, Hospital Srikai Tanjung Susur Jammu Sriki, Jalan Merudu Simpang Jaka, Jalan Nangapuan, Jalan Sky Baru, Semayang Pan Tanjung Bijat, Jembatan Semunjan and Jembatan Gedong. I wish to inform that my ministry has submitted a proposed program to install street lighting up to 30 million under State 11 Malaysia Plan and the State midterm review. However, it was not approved. My ministry was resubmitting this proposed program again under the State 12 Malaysia Plan for their consideration. Notwithstanding, it has been the policy that all major bridges undertaken by Kerja Raya are installed with street lighting. For the other minor bridges, street lighting are installed on a case-by-case basis depending on the safety needs in their localities. I wish to inform Aliang Pohmat that Jembatan Semunjan and Jembatan Gedong were undertaken by other agencies and not under my purview. Past transportation. To address the issue raised by Liang Pohmat Popending, it is in the best interest of the state government to solve the traffic congestion in Kuching, Miri, Cebu during peak hours. State Bus Services Transformation (SBST) program is to improve the current public bus transportation system in terms of network coverage and quality of service rendered to the general public, which will be more systematic and efficient. This project will be implemented in Kuching City as well as in some areas in Samarahan. If this is deemed successful, the state government shall apply for the federal government to replicate the other cities, towns, in Sarawak and stages such as Cebu and Miri. Again, due to the change of federal government, the project is now under review and subject to further deliberation. Based on the official letter of Minister of Finance dated 29 June 2018. Kulabaram Dredging. For the information of Yang Pohmat Popujud, both the state and federal government acknowledge the need to create a shallow access channel of Kulabaram to spur the economic activity and the development of Kulabaram Industrial Estate, in particular Miri Port and shipping industries. For the state government is pursuing seriously with the federal government on the defining of Pulau Baram access channel. The proposed Pulau Baram defining estimated cost of the 511 million has been submitted to the federal government under Rolling Plan 1, 2, and 3 of the 11 Malaysia Plan. Of the 11 Malaysia Plan. All submissions were not approved. The proposal had been submitted under Rolling Plan 4 of the 11 Malaysia Plan. On the other hand, the state government has received numerous proposals by private sectors. Our state planning unit is currently studying the proposal holistically, including the methodology of private sector's involvement. My ministry is looking seriously into the proposal and urge the proposed Pulau Baram access channel to be done urgently. Okay, yang bawah itu. Express boat subsidy. For the information yang bawah itu, the public transport service are privately driven on commercial consideration basis. On the understanding of the riverboat background, passengers background, who are mainly from the lower and middle income group, especially in rural areas, the government does provide subsidy to ease this operational cost. The express boat is no exception, in which the fuel subsidy is sold to the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Malaysia, has been provided. Please bear in mind that Ali Yang Muhammad, Deputy Minister for Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Ali Dewan Undangan Negeri Popular Sentosa, he who is also a member of Parliament, Stampin, will be made aware of this sooner or later. Tanjung Datuk Lighthouse. For the information on Yang Muhammad to Tanjung Datuk, the proposal to upgrade Tanjung Datuk Lighthouse has been approved under the State Midterm Review 11 Malaysia Plan with a ceiling of 2.4 million. The upgrading work is expected to commence in 2018. One speaker, based on the content of my speech, it is evident that continuous collaboration between federal and state government is vital for the future progress of Sarawak, where the state government could continuously plan in accordance to our needs. The federal approvals and funding are required to turn the plans into concrete reality. As a result, it is only correct the state government cooperate with new federal government with single objective to deliver the necessary infrastructure and transportation development which Sarawak is desperately in need of. With this, it is my fervent hope that Aliat Yang Muhammad from different political affiliations could work together with one objective to develop Sarawak as expected by Sarawakian voters. Before I end my speech, I would like to thank one speaker for having skillfully managed the proceeding of this August House. I would like to record my appreciation to all Yang Muhammad raising the relevant question and suggestion that could further improve MIDT delivery and implementation method. My special thanks also goes to all state civil servants, my MIDT team, and members of the media. Last but not the least, I wish a meaningful Sarawak Independence Day comes on 2nd July 2018, where present leaders were remembered and sacrifices were made by our past leaders, and all Sarawakians can take pride of being part of peaceful Sarawak on our Independence Day. I also like to wish all Muslims belated Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri in our Dayak event, belated Selamat Gawai Dayak Kayu Zulu Gerai Nyaman. At the same time, I would like to wish all of us a Selamat Hari Kebangsaan, Selamat Hari Malaysia, and to all Muslim friends, Selamat Hari Raya Adil Adha. Tuan Speaker, sebelum saya mengundur diri, izinkan saya berkongsi 3 cakap pantun. No translators. Alright. Bunga semambu, semerbak mewangi, mawar berduri tinggi menjulang, agenda pembangunan aspirasi negeri, harapan bersama kerjaan sekarang. Sejatu kerjaan here in the state now at the moment. Pokok tapang tinggi melampai, tempat berteduh si burung halang. Pemimpin nomor satu wawasan dicapai, memacu Sarawak ke puncak gemilang. This is Iban, this time not Mandarin, sorry. Tamu semanggang, ayuh ikan salai, burung melayang, baik hari besar. Gerbong kita sekolah sejalan, menua likur, niti jalan pemasang. Terima kasih.